like to call this meeting to order. Hey, Miss Cynthia. Good evening, y'all. All right, we have the called meeting to order. We have the prayer and pledge by Councilwoman Deidre Ledbetter.
Heavenly Father, we are here today to make decisions for the betterment of our country, of our community. Lord, lead us and guide us in all our deliberations so that the decisions that are made are pleasing in thy sight. We ask that you continue to bless and keep the men and women that place their lives on the line daily to protect and serve, and the staff that are dedicated to making our city a better place to live. Finally, Lord, wrap your loving arms around all of us and bind us together, for we know that with you in the midst, all things are possible. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem Dan Doyle.
Here.
Councilmember Natalie Lopez. Ms. Lopez is out to work relations. Councilmember Marlon Lewis.
Here.
Councilmember David Broussard.
Here.
Councilmember Deidre Ledbetter.
Here.
Councilmember Sherry Guidry.
Present.
Councilmember Dustin Swear.
Thank you. Item number 2. We have any public comment? I didn't see any comment cards. Seeing none, I'll ask you to silence your cell phones, and we'll proceed to item 2.
Acceptance of the minutes of the September 4th, 2018 meeting as published on September 14th, 2018.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Guidry and a second by Councilman Lewis. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, please vote your machines. Thank you. Madam Clerk, item 3.
Persons to address the council. We have Renee Stansberry to address the council concerning the Iberia in the Know event.
Good evening, y'all. Renee was held up. She wasn't able to come, and I'm part of the Healthy Communities Coalition, so she asked me to step in and
Great, thank you.
fill in on it. So what she wanted to present tonight was Iberia in the Know. And what that is we held one this past year. It was in April, and that day we happened to have many monsoons with the weather. So it didn't turn out the way we want, but the whole point of what Iberia in the Know is collaboration of providers, businesses in our community, nonprofits, all of the resources that we have available in Iberia Parish. We want to bring all together in one event, and it's going to be along the lines of like a family fun day. Because when we did it in April, we had a great big inflatable obstacle course, and we had things planned for children, for seniors, for youth, and it's all about healthy living and about our resources that are here in Iberia Parish. So that's the whole gist of it. We're in the building stages, and I'm sure she'll get back. I know she wants to talk with you, Freddie, at some point about it, but that's what it is Iberia in the Know, so maybe mark your calendars. I think the tentative date we have right now is April 13th of 2019, and we're going to be in the city park because it's a good venue. If the weather's good, we'll be outside. If it's not, we go inside. So that's basically what it was.
Great.
You have any
thank you.
questions?
Any questions?
All right. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, 3B.
Pastor Zachary Mitchell to report on the strategic follow-up plan for the Taking the City initiative developed by the pastors of the Iberia Christian Ministerial Federation.
What's up, stranger?
One meeting.
Yeah, I know. How are you, sir? Thank you. Okay. Give my card back.
Thank you.
It is always an honor to be before you, and we take it not for granted, nor are we flippant about it. And so thank you again for having us. We notice this is really a great cut down on paperwork and what we normally give. So it's all a blessing. It's all a blessing. On on the 10th of this month, we had what you call a pastors retreat, and we had 11 pastors that attended. And the purpose of this retreat was to follow up all that we had done. Now, we're talking about going all the way back to 2017 and all that we did there with the tent crusade and prayer walks and dealing with our community. And then 2018 from January to June doing the prayer walks, boots on the ground, all-night prayer, and the whole 9 yards. And then in the month of July, the Children and Youth Crusade, as well as the Children and Youth Camp that had taken place. All those things have been reported to you, and we are now following up on that effort. That was a very laborious effort, but it was so much needed, and it gave us some great insight as for what we need to do and how we can help our city council persons to do what they do and to help our city. And so this is a tentative follow-up plan. It is something that can I say it's fluid, because it's going to have to be adjusted, but it has actually two rivers to it. The first river, which is not on this sheet, is what the churches are currently doing, because there are churches that are currently doing things in our community. And so we're not trying to be and say that we're the only people doing something. That is just not the truth. And so we are encompassing what's already being done. So the second river is what you have before, and this is how this plan flows. That the churches in the Federation of Pastors will identify 2 people, okay, that they would submit to training, that would come in and train in a Bible study or something of that nature in our communities, in the various different districts and in our communities. We are really looking forward to doing that training so that when they are all out there, that everybody is teaching the same thing. We will identify these places in our cities with the cooperation of our council persons and et cetera, and the information we've gathered over those months and almost a year. And then we will secure what we call a foundations course that will be taught in those settings. There's a great move in our country at present time, even among churches and outside of churches, for what was called small groups. And there's a move. Even churches are going to this, where many people are crying out because they're hurting at home, they're hurting in their marriages, they're just hurting, and they are looking forward to some sort of spiritual ministry to them. And so there's not a great move in the churches, but there's a great move outside the churches. So let's not hit the horse in the head, let's ride him where he needs to go. Okay, and that is moving out in the community. So that's what we're doing here, and we will have adult classes and children's classes, and this is a foundations course that will last 6 months, and understandably so, because you cannot teach a foundation overnight. And so these classes are going to be in place to help our families grow, help our children grow, and begin to draw our community together. And then we see F under three, under number 3, we're going to have 2 teachers, 2 counselors, and textbooks, workbooks. Okay, teachers will be using the various different things that we have already gathered as techniques in this, and this is going to be a full-blown course that we're going to have a big graduation and the whole 9 yards for all these different groups. And it is really going to treat it big, and because it is an important thing. It's laying some foundations in our community. And we want to have one person per district, and this person we want to have communication with the council person in that district as a consultant to look for, to facilitate, to help for resources within that district that is being pulled out of these groups wherever they meet. They may need specific resources. One of the resources we know we desperately need, and I'm sure you will agree, is jobs. We need jobs. We really need jobs. And so this is what we're looking for out of a consultant, to be in these districts, find out what's going on, and then help facilitate and join in on all that's being done from the council and our community and our businesses, to help our people grow. And the Federation of Pastors are going to be, responsible for policing this and accountability of the teachers of the group, so that everything that is being taught, that they stay on pace, that everybody teaches the same thing. These counselors as well as teachers will be financially compensated for their time and their teaching. And once a small group gets to 12 members, then we will break off and they will move out and start to work with in that community to bring aboard other people. So you have a facilitation of this keep going. Now, lastly, what I want to say is that we end with the district consultant, but that's why I said it earlier. We're looking for that person to be in constant contact with the council person of that district, to collaborate with them, to even report to them, and we'll continue our reports to you as this moves forward. So this is a time frame from the beginning of October all the way to June of next year. We are reaching out that far because it is that kind of work. As I told you earlier, we're here to stay, and we're here to see change in our city. Any questions?
Any questions?
Wow.
Hearing none.
I tell you, I
Thank
mean,
you enough for
this is
your
the
work.
first time I've ever asked for questions. Nobody asking it. I'll sit down and we have all. But thank you. Listen, so
you.
appreciate
Thanks for all
it. We thank God for all the things that you're doing, and everything is going well in our city, and we are moving forward. There is great optimism in the streets. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right.
Madam Clerk, Item 4.
Proclamation recognizing Constitution Week being accepted by Brenda Lowry and Dorothy Grimsley.
Good evening, y'all. Thanks for coming. I'll go ahead and read it, and then if y'all want to come up and have some remarks. Whereas it is a privilege and duty of the American people to commemorate the 231st anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America with appropriate ceremonies and activities. Whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States designating September 17th through September 23rd as Constitution Week. Now therefore, I, Freddie DeCourt, Mayor of the City of New Iberia, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through September 23rd, 2018 as Constitution Week. As the Mayor of the City, I urge all citizens to study the Constitution and reflect on the privilege of being an American, with all the rights and responsibilities which that privilege involves. Thank y'all. Thanks for being here. Yeah, you get the good one. Thank you.
And we have constitutions for y'all.
Oh, great. Thank you.
And on
We'll
the
pass them
table,
out.
we have constitutions, pocket constitutions. Feel free, please, to take one, pass it along, and copies of the flag code and the story of the Pledge of Allegiance.
Great. Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
All right, Madam Clerk. Item 5.
Resolution designating Jane Bro to act on behalf of the city of New Iberia in all matters pertaining to the Bayou Teche Museum expansion and George Wright Reed Pork Project, project number FPNC 50-ML1-17-01, including certifying requests for state disbursements, keeping the project records, submitting invoices for payment, tracking receivables, keeping project records on behalf of the city, and working directly with the mayor, architect, and city treasurer.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Lewis and a second by Councilwoman Guidry. Do we have any discussion on how busy Jane is? No. Yes, ma'am.
Question. I noticed the wording in it, and I'm all for it. It says, in the project records, city working directly with the mayor, architect, and city treasurer. So all monies that's gonna be dispersed, or submitted for payment or tracking and receiving, it's gonna come through the city council, or appear on our budget so we know what's happening with it, or Miss Jane this is totally separate, and so can someone explain that to me?
It's an in and out. We get the money. The grant runs through us.
Yes.
And so we have it. Kevin is part of that process as well.
Right.
Jane basically does everything that we just
Yes,
described.
yes. Great job.
And the money goes through. Then we approve the payment. Kevin approves the payment. You get an update when the budget's updated. But when we approve our budget,
Right.
which is very soon, all of that, is in our budget.
I know, it's just, it doesn't
That's
seem
fine.
like that.
That's fine. No, that's because this is just about Jane. It's not about the whole process. It's about Jane. Cool. Any further discussion? We're hearing none. Please vote your machines. Thank y'all very much. All right, 5B. Thanks, Jane.
Resolution approving the City of New Iberia, Louisiana administrative plan for the Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program.
Do I have a resolution? Do I have a motion for this resolution?
Motion.
Great. Motion by
Second.
Councilman Lewis and a second by Councilwoman Ledbetter. Do we have any discussion? Yes, ma'am.
Is Mr. what's his name?
Oh, yeah. Brian's here.
Yeah, Mr. Bryant, can you come up and just tell us the quick change? I looked at it on the budget, but can you just give us an update on what you're trying to get us to see? Because we had an email about it, so apparently there is some small significant change. You want to give us an update about that?
Yes, ma'am. Well, the administrative plan is a local constitution or plan of management of the Section 8 program. Being federally funded, we're obliged to administer and manage the program in adhering to all federal regulations. The administrative plan is the document that lists and describes how we manage the program and adhere to the federal regulations. This update is detailed only in the sense that we had to reformat and relist some of the federal regulations that have changed and are now applicable to the program. There were a few definitions added. For example, what is a troubled youth? Because our families are our participants are made up of single as well as families. And there was recent federal legislation called the Violence Against Women's Act. We had to incorporate its mandates in our administrative plan. So it's a matter of changing references to regulations that had been updated and renumbered and adding the requirements so that our plan adheres and includes the Violence Against Women Act mandates.
Okay. And so the Violence Against Women Act mandate, does that put them on a higher priority on your list, or not necessarily?
No, ma'am,
Or you
not
just add
necessarily. No,
Okay.
ma'am. I think the clearest example of what this federal law mandates and its application to the city's rental assistance program revolves around situations where there are domestic abuse and a landlord may wish to terminate the lease and evict the tenant.
Yes, sir.
And due to this federal law, that is not always possible. There are restrictions.
Okay. Thank you.
Miss Van?
Any further questions? Hearing none, please vote your machines. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, Mr. Bryan. Good information.
Great, thank y'all. Okay, Madam Clerk, 5C.
Approval of certificate of substantial completion submitted by 5J's Construction for completion of the project described as renovations to the West End Community Center and recording of the certificate with the Iberia Parish Clerk of Court.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Lewis. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'll give that one to Mr. Broussard. Councilman Broussard. Do we have any discussion?
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
I think not long ago we had a punch list for this project.
We did?
And all that's been taken care of?
We're waiting on a couple of items, and actually, this is the beginning of the lien-free period. So this is when the punch list process begins to end. They got 45 days to take care of those items. And in speaking with Heather, we are still waiting on some paperwork for some equipment, the fire suppression hood in the kitchen, as well as the air conditioning equipment. So in case there's an issue, it can be serviced properly. So most of the items have been taken care of, Dan. One of the issues was that the leak, and the leak in association with the work is taken care of. So
I'd
that's
like
been
to
confirmed.
add something on that one. We wanted to wait till we do this and give him his substantial completion. The roof has some other leaks, okay? I want to get those taken care of, as does Heather. Sandra's been helping. We've been calling roofers. We're getting prices. We have 5 roofers that have been contacted. He will get his substantial completion so that he's done his portion. I didn't want any conflict. We are, actively seeking roof prices to patch the rest of that roof. We're almost there. We did a lot of work on the building. It has taken a while, and sometimes these construction projects drag on. I want, as all of you want, to get that teen side usable. So we've contacted 5 roofers. I am speeding that up as fast as I can. I had to wait till this was done because there could be a conflict. We could have a roofer saying, well, I'd fix my part, but he damaged. That way, this guy's finished. But we are actively seeking prices to get that roof fixed. What we did a great amount of good, but it still has some leaks. So just wanted to point that out, that we're not asleep on this one, and we're doing everything we can to get that center, usable.
There was a lot of water coming in from the air conditioning equipment.
There was.
And when you have leaks, it's hard to determine exactly what are the sources, but we've eliminated a major source.
Yeah.
So, Any other questions?
Any questions?
Yeah, the major source was the air conditioner on top.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. It was actually leaking through the unit.
Right.
Yep.
We went out there together.
Yes, sir.
And assess it. Like I said, we went out there together to assess it, and as long as they're working, I'm good. You got to give people a chance to work.
Good. Any further discussion? Great. Please vote your machines. Thank you. Thank you, Paul. Madam Clerk, 5D.
Resolution approving and authorizing the mayor to sign and enter into a mutual assistance agreement by and between Lafayette Consolidated Government and Lafayette Police Department SWAT Team.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you. Motion by Councilwoman Guidry. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Lewis. Do we have any discussion on this item?
Yeah, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Is this synonymous with the same initiative that the sheriff department had with the city police, where they kind of broke their little metro deal up or what have you?
No, this is totally separate from anything like that. This
Okay.
is the fact that we are in the process of building a SWAT team. We're going to be
Okay.
coming to you for some equipment at some point,
Okay.
because we don't have that. So the chief of Lafayette, Toby Aguilar, our chief, Todd Dalbor, happen to be friends. They know each other. I've had 3 meetings with the chief from Lafayette. They have offered to partner into this partnership, so we have a SWAT team that on big issues we can call in. We've
Okay.
done it twice. I actually was able to go out and watch, and they really are a professional team and of great assistance to us. We are beginning to do some of those things ourselves. We know that we are, going to be coming for some equipment at some point, But this is to allow this mutual aid to continue, and they're being very generous to do that with us. So basically, it's two police departments, two chiefs that have similar values of community policing, of working together. That's why this fits. This fits because Lafayette has many of the same philosophies that we have in our new department, but they assist on, SWAT issues. That's all this is about.
So it's sort of like a task force?
They bring their SWAT team to assist on search, not a task force. It's only when we need a SWAT team, when we have, let's say it's a search warrant, or we have some, hostage situation, some issue that, they have a Bearcat, which is the equipment they drive up in and utilize. They have a robot. They have, 35, 40 member SWAT team that is decked to the hilt with the best equipment. They have the things that we just don't have yet. So they come to handle that one situation and then leave. So, any further discussion? Great, thank y'all. Vote your machines, please. Good, and we can't thank them enough. Thank you too, Chief, for lining that up. Now we go on to 5E.
Resolution accepting the receipt of a line item appropriation contained in Act 2 of 2018 Second Extraordinary Legislative Session in the amount of $12,144 from the state of Louisiana, and approving and authorizing the mayor to sign and enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement between the city and the transferring agency in order to receive funding for the Bunk Johnson New Iberia Jazz Arts and Heritage Festival Incorporated.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Lewis. Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilwoman Guidry. Do we have any discussion on this item?
So according to the budget, Mayor, which line item is that gonna be placed under?
That's a question I don't know. I know that, what line item, Jane?
It's gonna be in my budget.
Okay.
Okay.
I knew that it passes through your budget, but I couldn't tell you what line item it was. But that is an in and out. We get the money. It goes straight from the state, and it goes straight to the festival. Allows the Bunk Festival. You can see Doc Thomas in the back putting his hand up. Allows the festival to to exist.
Right. Well, I know our budget meeting is coming up, and I just
Yes, ma'am.
needed to know how that is gonna work.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Is that money for this year's festival that just passed, or for the festival for 19?
Festival is coming. 19 for 19.
Okay,
Yes. Want Doc Thomas to come up and tell us anything?
if he want.
Doc? That's your shot.
Well, I'm a talkaholic, so I
Yeah,
really
I know,
didn't wanna,
I know.
get up here. But Beans, I was
Yeah.
invited to come up.
I didn't think you passed it up.
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank Representative Terry Landry for acquiring the 4th year in a row the funds to be able to put this festival on as a free event for all the participants and the people of the community abroad and out abroad. So we are happy from the festival. We are very happy for the mayor signing off again this year, but most of all, Ms. Jane Bro, for all her diligent work to put together this package, because it's a lot of work. Me and her work together tirelessly trying to get this together, but more than anything, I think we have brought together the community, the whole community. We're in year 4, and without any problems. It's a late afternoon night event, and we go from 0 to 80. And then when I mean 80, we have older people that late night. So it's a good festival. It's free. And like I said, thank Representative Terry Landry for securing those funding, because that's the way we keep it free. And thank all the council people from the different districts that support it. And I see everybody there. I see Mr. Simon and the mayor, everybody attended. So we're very happy to be part of the community, and we hope to further continue our affiliation. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks
sir.
for all you do, Doc. Any further discussion? Please vote your machines. Great. Madam Clerk, item 6.
An introduction of an ordinance and set for public hearing on October 2nd, 2018. Introduction of an ordinance approving and authorizing the mayor to sign and enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement between the state of Louisiana and city of New Iberia for the Bayou Teche Museum expansion and George Rodriguez Park FPNC project number 50-ML1-17-01.
Introduction. We have to do anything?
Yeah,
Motion.
Motion.
Yeah. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Guidry, and I heard Mayor Pro Tem Dahl. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please vote your machines. I don't know why I thought we had to vote on the internet. All right, thank you all very much. And thank everybody who's here for the museum. We see some people in the back, and can't thank you all enough. It's going to be a good project. We have a couple of more steps to go, and we'll be up and running. Madam Clerk, item 7.
Presentation by Kevin Zarang, City Treasurer, of the July 31st, 2018 budget to actual comparisons.
Evening, Council.
Good evening.
Good evening.
To answer your question, Ms. Sherry, in the budget, it's a project called BJJF,
Which question, sir? I hadn't plenty.
where the revenue and expenses are for Bunk Johnson.
Bunk Johnson. Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. All right. I know y'all look forward to this. So what I'm going to do is, unless y'all have any questions, I'm going to just present it in total. This is the report through the end of July, which is 9 months into the fiscal year. So at 9 months, we should be at 75% of our budget. The general fund was budgeted at $18.8 million. It's coming in at 14.0%, which is 74.55, which is on the mark. Expenses were budgeted at $19 million. We're coming in at 14.1, which is 73.94, which is within that 75%. Parks and Recreation, budgeted $1.3 million in revenue. Actual is 1.2. They're at 92.53, and that is because majority of their income is ad valorem, and it's still kind of averaging itself out. For expenses, $1.2 million. They came in at $893,000, so they're at 72.56, so they're on the mark for the 75%. Public Works, budgeted 2.8 in revenue. Actual is 2.0. They're at 73.32. Expenses are 2.8. Budgeted, actual is 1.7. They're coming in at 61.29. So at this point, they're below where they should be in expenses, which is a good thing. Sales tax fund, budgeted 10.1 million. They're coming in at 7.8. We're actually at 77.03% of our budget. Expenses, 10.1 million. Budgeted, actual is 7.3, so we're at 72.3%. Garbage fund, budgeted in 4.5, actual is 3.4, we're at 75.75% of our budget. Expenses, 4.6, budgeted, actual is 3.5, we're at 74.85. Section 8 vouchers, budgeted in 1.3, actual is 939,000, they're at 74.51%. Expenses budgeted 1.3, actual is 993, they're at 77.45% of theirs. Wastewater fund, 5.4 million, budgeted, actual is 3.8, they're at 70% of their budgeted revenue. Expenses are 4.9, actuals are 3.4, they're at 68.76% of their budgeted expense. Any questions?
Any questions? No questions? Great. Well, thank you, Kevin. We'll be meeting a lot pretty soon because budget starts next week.
And y'all all have y'all calendars.
Yes, and budget packets. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Item 8, it's pretty easy. We don't have anything. No items for discussion tonight. So we move on to item 9, Councilman's remarks. I'll go ahead and start on Sherry's side. Councilwoman Gidd.
I have no remarks, sir, at this time.
Okay, thank you. Next, Councilwoman Ledbetter.
I just want to announce Neighborhood Watch for District 4, although everyone's welcome to attend, is Thursday at the Slyman, 6 o'clock p.m.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
I know we've been having a lot of rain lately. I had a few people call me about people having tall grass in these fields and that. We are giving a little slack. Jimmy's being very nice right now. No, but so just wait till the rain stops and have a little patience because we can't do that. These people can't cut that grass and tear up these lots. So just have a little patience for the next couple of weeks and then we'll get back on track. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Broussard?
We have a sugarcane festival coming up soon before the next meeting. Be safe. Watch those floats. They throw candy. We don't want any tragic thing happening in Iberia of kids running out. I think Mayor too, we have on October 2nd. We have our state delegation coming down, I think, next meeting.
Yes.
Our state legislators and our
Yes.
senator.
Yes.
Anybody wants any questions to be answered, come visit. They'll be over here. And our city council too, let's get ready for them and ask the right questions. So that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mayor, Councilman Guidry, I'm going to announce that brown sugar.
Yes.
That's in District 5. Brown Sugar Parade, that's September the 29th. It's the Saturday.
The board of each district.
That's right.
Yeah,
Both of y'all.
it's the Saturday, and it's from 12 to 9.
Yes, sir.
Brown Sugar Festival, Music Festival, music and food. And also on October the 8th, we are planning in District 2 a town hall meeting specifically to give a 90-day report. We're going to ask that our police department give the community a 90-day report, talk about some of our successes, talk about some of our challenges, and where we're going forward. Even can talk about the new endeavor with the SWAT team, things like that. October 8th, Weston Park at 6 o'clock.
Thank you. I don't think I have any remarks tonight. So our next council meeting is October the 2nd. I'll look for a motion to adjourn. Motion and a second. Great. Thank y'all.